Hello! Happy Tuesday, everybody. Sorry for the longer than usual intro. I was absolutely not ready to start at 1. I don't think I have any meaningful new announcements. I Other than... Do I have anything? I have nothing. So I think I can jump right in here. I, of course, did not record my to-do list. But let's see if we can figure out what is or is not broken with the base and get things moving. What are they doing down here? Are they just collecting ash? Yeah, they're just collecting ash. Okay. That looks like it got cleared out. That's good. Stone is pretty slow, and I'm going to assume stone is slow. Why is stone... We're out of carbolic oil. That's bad. And we're out of carbolic oil because... Why are you not running? Backed up on coal gas. Oh. 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 Oh dear. We have no ash demand here. Interesting, and that would be because it should be going to wood. If I check some of my wood plants, yeah, we're just full up on wood. Well, that's, interesting. And problematic. Do I just need to set up, like, a little ash processing spot? That's so ridiculous if I need to do that, but maybe I do. Maybe I do. Alright, let's see what my options are for this. And I may have talked about some of this already at the end of last stream, but I didn't put it in my to-do list, so I have zero memory of it. Ash, limestone, and creosote into limestone tile. Or ash, gravel, and pitch into asphalt. Okay. So, like, I mean, creosote I always have plenty of. I could start making limestone tile. Walking speed is 350. How does that compare to concrete? 250. Refined concrete is 350. Okay. So limestone tile is just as good as refined concrete. As is asphalt. As is iron oxide tile, for that matter. So refined or limestone tile, definitely an option. I'm making some rich clay. Coal dust, iron oxide, and oh yeah, that's just normal processing. Blue gas. Planter boxes, logs. Coal tiles, I don't have yet. Okay. What can I do with flue gas besides, well, I could burn it into more ash. I could turn it into syngas with activated carbon, which, like, I have some, but it's not cheap. I can barrel it. I can void it. Not a lot, really. So if we make flue gas from ash, 10 ash to 150 flue gas, so that's 15 to 1. And then 50 to 1. Okay, so I can just loop ash and flue gas. I don't love that. That feels too much like an actual void. Let's make limestone tile. Let's do that. So if I want to do that, I want to take my fourth output back. And I think I get rid of all of this. And then yeah, we're input prioritied on this one. That's fine. What does limestone tile actually get made in? Advanced foundry. Okay. And that's the one that needs heat, isn't it? Limestone tile. Yeah, this needs heat. Not a lot of heat, though. Only 15C. Okay. And if I also get myself... Here, let's see if I can do this in Hellmod real quick. So we're gonna make... lime... Whoops. Gonna make... Click in the box. Limestone tile. We're gonna use inputs. We're gonna take in a belt. We'll just say we'll scale it all for a belt. Oh, that's 15 of these. Okay. 50 limestone, which is why? Fine, we'll do it this way. Okay. 125 soil extractors making limestone. Yeah, no. But I probably don't have to suck down a whole belt of it. I mean, what are my other options? My other options, I guess, would be to turn it into... Yes. Let's put all this back. Because down here, this path, this goes way down, doesn't it? Wherever it goes, it's making some rich clay. And like, if we do the rich clay route, ash and water to rich clay and sand make brick, rich clay and a whole bunch of other stuff. I could do bricks. Is this... if I crush the bricks... I need to do this in YAFC. 1 second. Let's head over there. Alright, I'm going to try to sink the ash to stone, right? So we have ash coming in, and we'll say a belt. We're going to turn that ash into rich clay. We're going to turn the rich clay into bricks. We're going to crush the bricks into stone. Then we turn some of that stone into gravel, gravel into sand, link sand, allow overproduction of stone. No, this doesn't bring in quite enough. This doesn't make quite enough on its own to pay for its own sand. So I would need to bring in some sand from something else. Because I don't think... Yeah. Yep, sand from something else is the answer, I think, unfortunately. I mean... Not the coarse fraction. Try again, Brennan. Water... Here, if I... brush this back to stone... Stone back to... gravel, and gravel to... sand... I mean, this just ends up making a little bit of oxygen. But if I don't do this part, if I just rely on the sand input and say that I want to make stone, can I do something better with the muddy sludge? Oh, I can do this rich clay recipe. Okay. Instead of turning it into water... Yeah, okay, we do still need this soil input. Because, yeah, we need a little bit of sand, and then we turn the muddy sludge into even more. And this will just be whatever. Steam. Water pumping. There we go. What? A gigawatt? That can't be right. "96 clay pits to sink all of the muddy sludge that we need for the sand. That's hilarious. Oh, it's a gigawatt to make the steam. That's funny. But what if we do crush it down? Gravel. Sand. Okay, so yeah, this just turns into a giant void again. That's a lot of machines just to void it. And at that point, if I'm not getting anything useful out of it, like, why am I not just doing ash processing? And maybe that's what I should do, is just set up a little more ash processing down here again. I think that is what I'm going to do. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do ash processing. So if I grab a couple of... What do I need? Steel plates for solid separators. Here is what I'm going to do. This belt, I'm going to take where this one comes in and I'm going to route it differently because I don't like it here. I'll route it up this side to join in with the belt kind of over here. I'm actually going to route this back up. From here, we go up instead of down. That'll come all the way up here to this setup. And I will give this basically another 3 of these, and then I'll actually be able to route up to 2 belts up here. And this is totally stopped. Why is this stopped? steam's not getting pulled through at all? But why? Because I broke the frickin' power lines again? Really? Have I managed to isolate this? Ugh. Oh, that's in construction. The bots should actually figure that one out on their own. Cool. Well, that should help with some things. Yeah, because this is now stalled on not pulling enough of this through. Okay, but like I was saying, if I add the ability to process a couple more lanes, then I can feed up to 2 lanes of ash up here, and then feed the lane or 2 of ash back down that I need down. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, so this is 3 lanes in. I'm going to bring up a 4th lane. Do I duplicate the ridiculous lane balancer compressor from over on this side? Maybe. Maybe. It also occurred to me that this is overkill. We don't need to be compressing... Well, I'll do it up here, and then I'll talk about what's wrong with it, or why it's overkill. So let's just grab this part up to, like, I don't know, here. And we're going to have to make some space around here for all of this, so I'm actually going to do this up here, where I have space. Okay, so we're going to have second output. These are the 2 potential ash outputs to other parts of the base. Everything else does not need to be prioritized, and this is what was, or compressed rather, and that's what was overkill on the other one compared to what needed to be there. Is like, I don't actually need to compress these lanes. Like, I don't care if we use this one or this one or this one or this one. It's really just we need to be compressed into these 2 first. So we're going to have that. We're going to have our 3 inputs here from our 3 lanes here. We are going to have a 4th one, which is what's going to come from all of this. Yeah. We'll take a 4th one. Two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 2 more inputs potentially from the rest of the base, and then we've got these last 2 that are unused, and really what those will end up being, I'm gonna do something like this with them. I want to do... Each of these will be prioritized out, but then potentially just looped back around. Prioritized out, and then looped back around. Okay. And then those are our 2 outputs. So 3 inputs from each of these 3 things come up here. The last input comes from here. And then 2 inputs from the rest of the base. And that leads to 2, 4, 6 of these, which is 9 total Who's-a-Whatsits. So I need 3 more of those, and I forgot to grab the stuff to make them. Okay. But this is what I'm going to set up, I think. And then we will have up to 2 lanes of ash return to the base from processing up here. It would be better to be doing this on trains, but the base is a mess, things are backed up, and I gotta fix what I gotta fix. Okay, so while I'm here, like I was saying, we really only need to compress up to this one, so like all of this is excess. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then over here, let me grab some steel. Let me get the... where's steel? Steel buffer is down here somewhere. Along with everything else. Steel, okay. 3 more of those. What else am I going to need up there? Do I have enough inserters? Do I have enough... How did I not end up with... Eh? Must have misclicked something at some point. Okay. So let's fix ash. And then... So yeah, this all comes up here, and then instead of turning down, it turns up. And then we'll have 2 belts that come out of this system. Ooh, that's close. Oops. All right. So that is about where we need to be there. Let's get these set up. I think we're going to want 3 sets of these, right? Because I have 6 lanes in total. Doesn't really matter where I do them. 1. 2. 3. Oh, well, those belts did not last long. I will have to go back down and deal with that. Some more belts. Is not a huge deal. All right. And then each of these is going to come from one of these 3 paths, which I'm not going to disconnect the old ones yet, obviously. Connect all that. And then this one here will have to come in like that. Okay. And then one more of these will be the feedback loop from this part. Oh, I need to get all my outputs done here, don't I? It's 2? Okay. What's the total output on these? Not even 1 item a second. Okay. 0.75 items a second, in fact. So 1.5, 3, 6, 6.75? That 9 times 1.5? I don't even know. 9 times 3/4 is... yeah, 6 point something. So yeah, we're good. We will have plenty of... it will all fit on one side of one belt. I don't have to do anything special with it. And then that will come down here. All of this will get looped around. The ash output here will need to be connected once I take all this apart. That's fine. That ash output will come into here, and then I need to drag up the, one belt, which is input number 1. Yeah. So let me go get a bunch of belts. Let me get some more inserters, because apparently I ran out of those too. And then we will get all of this looped around. And I also want to double check, did I actually fix this thing down here? Are we all connected on one power grid now? We are. Which means these should be running a little faster. A little faster. But there's a lot of steam in the system, which means this is going to run a lot more slowly. And I guess that's fine if this isn't running super fast. Like, clearly I have plenty of ash. So let's go grab a couple hundred belts. Let's grab some more inserters. Let's get all of that finished up. And hopefully that'll unclog... trying to unclog my... what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get carbolic, which means I need to unclog coal processing, which means I need to reroute a bunch of ash. Right. I remember what I'm doing. Alright. Grab some undergrounds too, can't hurt. Okay. And then this is gonna go up here. And along the outside of this one. And then this will feed into one of my inputs here once I untangle all this. All right. Let's start disassembling the old setup. That looks fine. One of these inputs needs to be this one. So this is all going to come straight across to, like, here. And then we are also going to have this one come in as an input. And, well, this one is one of our outputs. I'm actually going to run the outputs... Yeah, through here is actually fine. For now. Am I out of landfill? I'm out of landfill. Great. So I will have to grab some landfill before this project can actually be completed. Let's actually do that, and then these can kind of come through here. Instead of going this way. Oh, I'm waiting for landfill for a bunch of this, aren't I? Okay. All right. And then this is an input, right? Yeah. So this needs to come through here. Ooh, out of belts again already. This has been a more belt-intense project than I realized it was going to be. Actually, leave space for a second one there, and those will go in there. Okay, and I've got room to bring in again another belt of ash if I need to bring one up. And then our 2 belts down. And then these 2 belts down. Let me make sure that I actually have them like hooked up the way they need to be hooked up. They come through here, and yeah, they're these 2 here. Which, this still needs to be rerouted. That's fine. And then this doesn't really need to be a thing anymore, does it? I mean, I guess I want to keep the lane balancers, but I don't need to have... Yeah, whatever. It's a 2 to 4. It's dealing with rebalancing the load across the different priorities at the base. I think it's fine to leave it there. Is it necessary? No. Does it hurt? Also no. Make this a purple chest, because it's a dump chest. Actually, anything that's a dump chest, like all of these, should be purple. Not that it matters, the bots will take care of it, but... Another dump chest. Or it doesn't matter for the ash, because I have a request for ash, but it matters for everything else. So I should make it a habit of using purples as I'm replacing my old dump chests. And where is... There it is. We have no stone coming into this, which is bad. I am assuming, since this whole belt has been drained, that there are no longer going to be concrete pieces coming along it. That's just a guess, though. What else, or where else does this go? I think I decided that it was pretty clean down at this end. Yeah, I don't see any down here. I probably got it mostly cleaned up. I have a ton of refined concrete, which I don't normally have. Concrete is, well, not backed up into the deposit yet. Is looking good. Okay. Got the belts that I need. I've got... Did I grab landfill, or did I just look at landfill? I think I just looked at landfill. Nope, I did grab landfill. Okay. So while I'm here, I want to look at this other ash belt that I was like, I don't love this. Okay. So this comes to like here. Now I need to figure out where I want to route this so that it connects to the system in a better place, which would be like right up here. So I think that is where it gets run. It just gets run right up along here. Do I have a clean? Not really. Do something like this, and like that, and like that. And then, is this a reasonably clear route? There isn't going to be a fully clear route, I know that, but... Am I on the wrong side of where I want to be? I am on the wrong side of where I want to be. Let's try that again. I get this if I go like here. Will you reach all the way across? No. Okay. All right. That is draining that way now. I'm just going to let that belt drain. That will drain up into here, which should now be feeding up. And then, yeah, we have a spot for another ash belt to come in if we need it. We have all of this now actually hooked up. And then that all feeds into here, which will loop around whatever ash it has as another input to the system. So yeah, in theory, this looks good. You know, output full, output full, output full, output full. Yeah, so that's an overflow. So this will run itself as a system. And if I check the power in this system, yeah, it's all of that stuff. It's a bunch of that stuff. That looks right. And then for now, all the ash should be coming back around. But we should have the ash coming up from coal processing as well soon. Yeah, that's working its way up. It's going to take a minute for all of that to turn back on down there, because there's a lot of ash backed up in this system. You know, just watching all of this try to drain itself, right? And this try to drain itself. This is all from iron processing, yeah. Yeah, this has been backed up for quite some time. And I can run the second belt up if I decide I want to. I can choose a point kind of anywhere on here and split it, right? But at the moment, I would rather not, if I can avoid it. Save that for another time, because I should have enough capacity on one belt for like steady state. We're just flushing out a bunch of garbage right now. Alright, it does look like we may have unblocked ourselves on coal gas, though. Not here. Interesting. How? Oh, does this not feed its coal gas into the main system? Does this just burn it? Ah, okay. This just burns it. It is Pi Day already, yep. Okay, how are we doing then? Yeah, it's trying. Everything is real backed up right now still. Long weekend? Is it, I was gonna say May Day, but that's still a couple weeks out. Ah, okay. Just your particular local national holiday. I was like, what's mid, oh, is it Easter? Is that a thing? I know some countries do Easter as a national holiday. Oh, you're not in the network. I could fix that. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. No, I would never complain about a couple of days off, that's for sure. Okay. That hopefully... How is this doing? Just one whole belt of ash constantly coming up. And then right now probably being mostly sent all the way back down, which is hilarious, but it is what it is. Oh, I should probably lane balance this one. That involves going all the way back up there, and that sounds like effort. But the thought process there is that the, I think the ash output is going to be on, like, the same side most of the times on this, so lane balancing just means that it'll... You could see every once in a while some of the ash sneaks out to be processed when these belts aren't totally full, but I don't think it matters. I'm sending plenty of ash back down to the base. I really might need to grab a second belt from the, from down here, though. I've been trying to avoid it, but I'm watching how... Well, no, okay. These are unloading a little more consistently now. Well, I say that, but they're almost up at 900, so maybe they're not unloading. How many ash a second can these make? Up to 1 a second, okay. So 2 outserters is good enough. Where am I? Here? Alright, let's see if I've got enough belts. I'll run a second belt. I don't really want to. I don't think it's necessary. like I was saying, I think at steady state, we have plenty of capacity on a single belt, but we're not at steady state. We are way, way screwed up. So, actually, I'm going to do this even differenter. We're going to do this. Will that one connect there? Perfect. And then this one does need to get itself balanced. Bop, 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 bop. Now we've got 4 into 2, which is pretty straightforward. Oops. I need to figure out exactly what button my mouse has, like, browser forward and back buttons, and if I accidentally tap one of those, it opens the map. I need to figure out what that is and fix it so it doesn't do that anymore. Okay, that's 2 of these feeding in now, so that should help it drain a little bit better through the main base. Yeah, this isn't quite right. Whoops. Let's do an actual 4-to-2 balancer and not just a half-assed one. I think it... Oh, it switches to the next surface. Interesting. That would make some amount of sense. There we go. That looks like it's pulling evenly from everything now. Whoops, I missed the ad break start, but that's okay. I am just going to keep an eye on this ash for a few minutes. I will probably mute myself and take the opportunity to... Do I need more water? I'm actually still good on water. All right, yeah, what I had noticed is we were getting our 2 belts not quite full, but these 2 weren't pulling through, and that's because I was trying to run them both through one, and they needed to be shared. I probably don't actually need this balancer, do I? That's redundant. Yeah, there we go. Then, yeah, this is trying to drain itself as quickly as it can. This shouldn't be producing just all that much ash off of this belt, because this is just from making heat for rubber. Coal gas is still kind of backed up, but slowly these are draining. And then up here, also draining. Draining, looking good. On this side, how are we looking? I really need to put a lane balancer on some of these, don't I? All right, I think we're good. I think everything is draining nicely. All right. Welcome back from the ad break, everybody. I've just been looking around at the ash, making sure that it looks like it's all going where I want it to go. And it does look like it's all going where I want it to go. So that is good. This should be now, with these two fully backed up, yeah, we are recycling some of the ash coming through here. This doesn't look like it's backing up. That is good. These are running infrequently. This is one of my concerns, is that this might back up. I might need to ensure that we prioritize this steam over the rest of the system feeding into here. Like, connect this directly and put the rest of this all on a top-up. Alarm tower thingy. That's a good question. Probably came with circuits, right? The speaker? Yes. So I could have it start making noises when things go sideways. That is an option. But anyway, my concern would be that if coal dust backs up because this isn't getting enough steam consumption, then our whole ash processing will lock up, right? And that would be bad. It's not a major issue, and I don't think it's likely to happen, but I could just set it up with overflow valves to do the right thing. I don't think I need to set up an alarm. While I'm up there, I can add the radar that I need. Currently, I need a radar. And as always, I don't have enough power poles to connect my radars. But let's fix up... So I want this to always burn first. I want it to work through the coal dust, if there is any. That gets pumped down here. Instead of going here, what I want to do is go down like here, there. And then on this side, this outputs if I is above 80. So I can have this input if O is below 90. That should work. So this will kind of always top up the system, and then this will take whatever it can out to the rest. Probably good enough. And then we do have some of these guys running here. Not super consistently, but that's okay. Oh, now that I'm up here, I may as well... do that. That should just keep some things a little more balanced in the overall setup. I don't think it'll matter, but it'll help a little bit with stuff like this, where we've got one of our output belts that isn't fully saturated. Yeah. And then... Cool. I think I just have to probably go grab some more medium power poles so I can hook up this radar. Because, yeah, that needs to come just a little bit further. Oh, you know what? Let's just... Oh, well. I have the wooden power poles. May as well use them. Okay. Radar connected. Oh, I should fill in some more of these, probably. The bots are going across empty space, and they are dying. Yep, I see them dying and turning around. That's bad. Okay. So yeah, I need to get some of the, some more thingies, roboports in here. Ugh, how's the base? Not great. I'm going to assume that that is still entirely related to a lack of... Where is it? These ones? Hydroxide? Hydroxide. Hydroxide. A lack of hydroxide. Yep. And then double check down here that this all looks like it's functioning correctly. I mostly trust this setup at this point, which is scary, but... Okay, we do have some bio crud that ended up in here. Interesting. And some jerky. Oh, that must have been from this. Yeah, this brain is going to turn into jerky eventually. Because, like, these are off because we have enough animal samples. But somehow they snuck in a brain before it got turned off. Okay. That is something to keep in mind. So right now... Yeah, we only have... two filters on regular inserters. The blue inserters get more filters. Yes, okay, so if I switch to a blue inserter, I can set up the filters for those last pieces. For the bio crud and the jerky and the brain jerky that ends up in there. I'm just going to do that while I'm thinking about it. Make sure that all the trash routing down there is good. I mean, really, the thing that needs to happen is this hilarious railroad needs to be finished, and then I can get, this will hugely boost my... Well, we should be doing better on saline water soon, because this system should be trying to come back to life, and it's still not. Do we have something else? One thing at a time. I'm going to fix that inserter down there to be blue with more filters. I'm going to make sure all the trash handling at Logisci is good. Logisci has been fairly robust the past couple of episodes, so I really do think that it's pretty much there and working. We might run out of blood storage. That's something to be concerned about. But otherwise... Oh, wait, before I set those, I want to make sure that this is going to do something smart. And it's not. Okay. So the biocrud and the jerky need to be routed out. Somewhere else. Biocrud and... jerky. And the question is, where do I want those to go? Those aren't really reusable, right? They gotta come down here, is where they gotta come. How do I do that reasonably? I think we go this way. We go under here, and we go down like this. Now I should be able to set this. Biocrud and jerky to its list. Make sure that this is all going to the right place and is ending up in the right deposits, which are looking very full. Okay, this is going to be a problem soon. It should be generating a lot less biocrud and jerky than it was before. But, like, it's still gonna happen. It's just part of how this system works. Stuff ends up in machines that's gonna spoil, etc., etc. So figuring out what to do with the biocrud and the jerky is gonna be... Well, I think jerky needs to probably be turned into workers' food. I think I just have plenty of jerky, and I should accept that that is a situation. Because, like, what can I actually do with it? Phytoplankton, workers' food, biomass. I can recycle it into biomass. I could make a jerky-based power plant to replace the wood-based one that I have designed. Yeah, fuel for mining, quality workers' food. Yeah, I mean, it's really either got to be workers' food. I either have to try to set up workers' food, or I need to do, excuse me, probably just turn it into biomass and use biomass for something. There we go, and then this should want to run, right? Yeah, this needs bones. So it's waiting to get bones from these guys. Oh, but this is full. Fascinating. I don't think I realized that was possible. Okay, so there is another interesting bottleneck here. In that we make too much skin and guts, it looks like, mostly. And I think I probably do know that. If I go to YAFC, and I find, here we go, unified science. Yeah, skin, brains, guts. This includes rocks, because we're also dealing with rock processing here for PySci 1. But, like, skin only comes from the cotton guts, right? So, yeah. That's unfortunate. And, like, it'll spoil shortly. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, this is why moving to Rails and centralized animal part management has been on my sort of longer-term to-do list sort of since the beginning. Because we really need to be looking at oof, we're down to like 2 science a minute. What's behind hot air stage 2? Why am I researching this? I don't know. Iron processing stage 2 makes sense. Maybe it was this recipe that I wanted, the coke oven gas to soot. Don't remember. This is what happens when I don't take notes. Oh, right, because those are cotton gut stud manufacturing that I'm not dealing with right now. All right, yeah, cotton guts look pretty fully running. That's good. I mean, I suspect that if I come up here to science, I find science, I should see... Yeah, we have plenty of green science on the belt. And, what is this all doing? I don't know why we're, like, balancing this. All right. Yeah, plenty of automation. It's just PySci 1 that's slow, and PySci 1 is slow because we're still not getting much saline, and part of why we're not getting saline is because I haven't hooked this up yet. The other part is because this is still slow. Okay, we're still not getting through our... Yeah, we just don't have a huge demand for coal gas. Like, these are all running full speed. That's wild. Okay. Well, I could burn more of it to ash. Like, it's not the end of the world, it's just... Syngas. Syngas goes into really just plastic right now and a couple of other things. Yeah. Just not enough demand for coal gas. Can I do anything else with coal gas at this point? Have I... Alright, burn it to ash, which is my current sink. Syngas, of course. Syngas with oxygen. Barrel it. Void it. Aluminum. So it seems like no. The answer is no. I can't really do anything else with it. Okay, we're gonna have to burn it then. I'll just need to expand this. What are these? High pressure furnaces? Okay. How many do I currently have up here? Sorry, I should have counted. We have 5. 5 more, just double them. Why not? Let's drop some more of this coal gas sinkage over here then. There we go. And that is not what I want. I want... That's what I want. So half of them are on one side of the belt and half of them are on the other. There we go. Now we should be unblocked on coal gas. That didn't take very long. Well, maybe it was dangerously close to being balanced already. Whatever. At any rate, that should help unclog all of this stuff. Yeah. 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 Running tar. Good, good, good. Lots of coke beings. Why are you blocked? Oh, you just... Okay, you only run so often. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, 8 for 4 in... This could probably be 7. Cool, but all of these are running now. That's great, that's great, that's great. We should be making a lot more carbolic oil. Now if we check our stone production, how are we doing? But why? Do I have something else that is an earlier... Wait. Oh, it wasn't even the coal production that was breaking it. It was me. It was me the whole time. Oh, okay. Well, all of this was still broken. all of that was still broken and still needed to be fixed. It was not a complete waste of time. Alright, there we go. That's carbolic back to stone. Because, yeah, okay, there we go. That drained immediately. So, our carbolic production is still low. Okay, so this overflows above 80. This overflows above 95. What are we doing with it below... Oh, right. It's making my small amount of organic solvent that I need. I forgot about that. Where does this go? I don't even know what this is used for. I made this a long time ago. Oh, niobium. Okay. Sure. See if I can get this aligned. And I'm going to probably need to fix that pipe. Yes. Okay, let's grab... What am I missing? I need belts, I need electric poles. My logistics bots are still too busy emptying dump chests to ever bring me anything. Which admittedly is my own fault for upgrading all my dump chests to logi chests. But... Speaking of, let's trash a few things. Oh, I've got some logi bots. Let's, what else can I dump while I'm here? Alright. Do we have some amount of stone mining actually happening now, is one of the questions. Yes. Good. This should speed up science a little bit. I still don't want to rely on all of my, I don't want to rely just on stone for the saline water input, so we're gonna... Oh, is it just now catching up? Okay. I still want to work on getting this done, and this just needs a bajillion rails and big electric poles. They really don't want to take all this raw coal. Anyway. Okay. Big electric poles are up here. They're the thing that broke the flippin' pipe in the first place. Tracks are down here. That is not enough. I don't think there's much I can do to make solder much faster here. We're already running with blue assemblers. Yeah, and we're like... Whoops. Yeah, this should be... outputting tin, not inputting tin. I think this was actually an old tin buffer chest for me to claim from, but... just set it up to output to help make sure that we're keeping solder running will be good. Because this is not a big tin production that's hooked up to this part of the base. Like, this was just intended to be a trickle for a couple of small things. I guess I could hook it up to here as well. There's not a lot coming through here either. Alright, let's see. This is not very many of the... however many hundreds, if not thousands, of these rails we need to get this all hooked up. They go fast. Like that. That's it. One of the coal belts? Oh, Yeah, it looks like it got broken when I dropped the, What happened? I mean, it doesn't matter. This isn't pulling anywhere near enough coal. This is way, way overbuilt. Okay. Oh, yeah, the way the electric poles are positioned, you actually can't, like, run this through. Interesting. I should be able to fix this like this. Let's grab a chain signal, chain signal, chain signal. There we go. Yeah, as long as my blocks all still look right. And I think they do. All right, so you're set to request only. You are set to request a negative. Oh, hey. The train has been dispatched. Cool. So this is going to try to pick up. Yep. And then it's going to get sad. It's like, hey, no route to... Yeah. So it is full of saline, which is fantastic. We just need the however many 1,000 belts we need to... Oh, there's probably one broken down here, too. There we go. Yeah. The issue is the large number of rails that I need. I was trying to get to a point where I could just do liquid solder on the tracks, but I think I'm going to have to do liquid solder the old-fashioned way. I just don't see being able to get this many rails efficiently, especially if I need to build out any more bigger outposts. Yeah, it's just not gonna be viable, I don't think, without a lot more solder production. Because how many rails do I have in here? Can I see rails, please? It doesn't want to show me. Okay, just along this stretch, how many rails do I have is 1,000. And then along here, we've probably got another 800. Yeah. So, like, 2,000 rails. And I had, like, 150 stashed away in my base after an hour of playing, hour and a half of playing today. All right, I think we've got all the power poles dropped in place and all of the landfill dropped in place. So at least the bots will be able to pretty quickly just throw down the rails once I have them. But I still do need like 1,800 rails. So let's look at our tin, because I think right now we're probably not pulling... This tin is pretty much sized almost specifically for what I need for circuits, but like... Oh look, circuits aren't running. So I could probably... Let's see what we can do here. Can I make a few of these? Yeah. Where is this? What am I looking at? Down here is where I want to be. I grab one, these three. He's gonna still make only 0.33. I think these need a second inserter if I'm gonna run them at full. And then one outserter there is fine. Let's do a blue inserter here, and let's uncap this. Okay. And then the other bits that I need for rails are what? Stone and steel and bolts. Wonder if it's easier for me to just hand deliver solder from here up to my existing rail factory instead of trying to... Ooh! Something else is broken. We're not making glass. Because we don't have hot air again? How is this hot air always broken? Are we out of... No. I mean, I need to keep an eye on that because I've been hand feeding this all the time. But we're backed up on ash because we're backed up on... this again. Okay. Yep, I can fix that. Do I have a deposit? I do. Beautiful. Let's do... this. Let's drop this deposit someplace useful. There. Then needs more chests. Yeah, or deposit. Yep. Deposits are my answer to everything these days. I keep saying that this is a temporary setup and that soon I won't have anything running off of this hot air anymore, so I keep not wanting to fix it correctly. But, you know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. I mean, I have new glass. I have new hot air, right? It's just that I haven't rerouted glass down to the consumers of this setup yet. Well, that is already immediately... Turns out, a deposit is equivalent to that many rows of chests, which feels like it's almost not worth it. Like, area-wise. But let's grab some of these... Yeah, although it has a lot more, edges, right? You can get a lot more in to deposits than you can get into other options. At any rate, this should be turned on now. We should be making glass. It doesn't matter. My circuits were fine. I have plenty of circuits, but I want to make sure that they are, like, capable of running. Because it does look like, yeah, they've drained a little bit off their belt. Like, I'm sure there's still plenty. Yeah, the belt is still backed up to, like, here. So what I want to do as well, then, I want to fix this. get rid of this. Let's do this here. Output left, so that we do prioritize running circuits off of it, but then also have this nice little setup so that we're buffering solder here as we need it. Okay. That way it will go to circuits primarily. And yeah, vacuum tubes are going to need glass to start fully running again, but now that we have hot air, no problem. Cool. I'm glad I noticed that before, like, circuits were totally failed, but they're still backed up to kind of here-ish. So plenty of space. I'm going to take all this solder that I've been collecting up to my rail factory. Because this is apparently my life now. I guess I could set up a caravan to do that, couldn't I? Maybe this is a good use of a caravan. Spare solder up to rails. I've been wanting to find excuses to use caravans more often. Oh, and now we're not getting... Eh? Oh, these just can't keep up. Okay. Yeah. It makes sense that these can't keep up. They're not that fast, right? This is not the optimum solution. Anyway, let's do what do I need for a couple of caravan outposts? Some chests and some steel. I think I do still have some caravans somewhere. Make a couple of these. Caravan itself, I might have in... Let's just make a decider combinator real quick. Let's find a robo port that I can access. Here we go. So if I say your input is everything, and I want to find caravan is greater than 0, you want to output caravans at the input count. And you're outputting, I don't know. You're outputting nothing. Okay, so there are no caravans in the network. Also, if anyone knows a better way to do this, let me know. Legendary long inserters, I just noticed that. Yeah, that's not happening. Okay. Do I have them then just still... I thought I made some extras. I know I have caravans somewhere. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Perfect. I also had a couple of outposts, but I'll survive having made extras of those. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to insert solder into the system. Why are you turned off? Oh, because you're not getting those. Okay. So solder comes from down here, and all of this up into this splitter. So if I can drop a caravan outpost, just made 2. Caravan outpost. Where can this go to get solder in? I guess like here is fine. All right. And then Not that I would ever expect my caravans to be able to spit out a full belt of anything. Oh, and actually, we don't want a full belt, do we? Do we actually rely on this at this point being... No. I don't really want to insert it here either. I really want to have, like... If I take shafts off of here, and I try to get them... Yeah, let's do this. This is silly to kind of route the solder up and then back down, but this way I'm bringing in... all of the solder is post my merge, and my merge is going to be here. Do something like that, so I have better access. And then these two will come in like that. Okay. This is... a caravan outpost. And then I need another one down at solder or down at electronics to pick up the... And I can actually do this, and this will start providing the system. Because, yeah, those ones correctly only go to one side. These ones, yeah, get split between these two pathways. That's fine, that's fine, that is fine. And then that should help make shafts a little more quickly as well. Shafts are just slow, I should... Here. Shafts are my big bottleneck for most of my mechanical parts, so... Let's see... Yeah, let's get the caravan outpost at the other end in for sending solder, and then I can set up a caravan to do its little loop. Down here, instead of putting solder in a box, we want to send it across here. Grab the caravan outpost. And then we only need like 3 inserters. The outserters at the other caravan outpost are absolute overkill. Now I should be able to grab from somewhere around here. Ooh, are both of these jerky things full? Wow. Okay. Yeah, my this is gonna be a problem. All right, caravan. And let's give him fuel. And we're gonna start with a destination here. Fill cargo. Add a destination here. Empty cargo. Add an interrupt, which is eat, which should already be set up to go to that outpost to store food. Done. Done, 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 done. Now the question is he actually going to work? He seems confused. Oh, because I haven't hit play yet. That's the problem. Actually, you know what? Run your eat interrupt first. Go fill up your belly. And then it's going to go up there. Well, it's going to try to empty. Don't do that. Go down here. And he won't be moving as fast as he would with better food, but I'm not too concerned about that. In the meantime, I can drop off some more solder up there. How many rails have I got? 207 out of the, what did I say I needed? Like 1,800, 2,000? Yeah. Oh, look at that. I can see that he's filling his inventory. Fantastic. Cool. Well, that's a start. That should keep rails running, I mean, hopefully a little more consistently. I'm not going to be... They're still not going to be running full-time all the time. I could improve my tin processing up here, I guess. I probably will need to, because I don't think it all goes to solder. Doesn't. It goes to other stuff, too. Tinned cable, which goes over here for some reason. What is tinned cable even used for over here? I have no idea. Oh, these things. Big electric poles. Okay. Good to know. I have plenty of those right now, though. Stone is looking... It's running. Stone is running great, actually. Okay. Which means we should be seeing slightly better science? Yes. It's not going to run fully at 8 SPM. We're still not bringing in quite enough hydroxide for that. But it's close. And actually, is that sodium hydroxide running at full speed? Do I need a second electrolyzer? Not quite full speed. Okay. So yeah, we could get a little more saline water coming into this system. But science is running better. Rails are running better. All right, what do these guys want to bring me that they can't? There's plenty of concrete in the network. It's just going to take them forever to get it to me. The small copper text plates are apparently not in the network, and the gas furnaces are not in the network. I could put small copper text plates in the network. That's easy. Let's just grab one of these and do that. All right. I need to remember that this is here. I keep building buildings from scratch, and I should be remembering to add things to that mall so that anytime I need a new building, I add it to the mall so that we get to start having them be available in the network. That's the reason that I built all this. is for all the wild buildings in Pi. So I need to remember to actually take advantage of it. I should also add a stack of deposits to my requests. Alright, the bots really don't want to take this raw coal from me, and I don't know why. Alright, it is just about break time, so I am going to do that. I'm going to step away for a few minutes, refill my water. Everyone else should do the same. Stay hydrated. It's good for you. And when I get back, I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I get back. We still need a lot more rails before we can build this, so I could look into trying to make molten solder the old-fashioned way without doing it on the rail network, but I'm not really sure right now what the next step is. So for now, hopefully just having the caravan bringing up some excess solder from down here will help once he fills up. Anyway, stepping away for now, and I will see everyone in just a few minutes. Sorry about that. That was a longer break than I meant to take. I'm back. Okay, so I think what I want to start doing is I'm gonna start, while we're buffering the thousands of rails that we're gonna need, I think I want to I'm gonna just start working on building out what are gonna be other train stations and other outposts, and even though... Hey, there we go. They're finally taking all this coal from my inventory. Yeah, even though we don't have all the rails to hook everything up yet, I can kind of do all the rest of it and get everything blueprinted in, and then we will go from there, sort of in the overall system. I think that's the best option right now. I'm not totally sure about that, but I think just getting things on the rail network and slowly figuring out what my dependencies are is going to be the way to go. And just because we're in Pi hard mode, figuring out all the byproducts and making sure that they get where they need to go is going to be interesting and kind of a challenge. But hopefully it won't be too terrible. Are we getting any of these guys coming down? Okay, yeah, they are coming down. Slowly but surely. The bots are grabbing them. It just takes a minute for the bots to get this far. They're slow bots. I should have left the game unpaused. The bots probably would have caught up with their actions by now. I don't think I need graphite. I don't think I need ceramic. I can always grab more if I need it. I don't need this stone. I don't need this wood. There we go. I'm just trying to get a few more of these deposits in my inventory before I run off, because I'm probably going to want them as part of setting up my train network. The other thing that I should really standardize is the tanks. Oh yeah, because there's no tankage on this one yet. And I think over here on my other stations, like, I'm doing different things, right? I've got 2 of these 30k tanks for gasoline. Right, so we end up with like minus 60 plus 50. Yeah. And then up here, we're pushing out using these 40k tanks, so this should say I have like 240,000 available. Yeah. And I do just kind of want to standardize some of that around how I'm dealing with the tankage off of different stations, inputs versus outputs and such. I mean, if my threshold is going to be I want to bring in at least 20,000, and I know a rail is 25, then, like, I could just use a single 50 KL tank at every requester station as, like, my number. Or a 65. Either way. 65 seemed cheaper. I probably used it all. I was going to say, is there some lead plate hiding in this system? But I don't see it. I do have some down here, though. What does the 50 look like? I'm not sure I've even ever built a 50 this run. Oh, interesting. I hate it. I don't like it. Let's get rid of it. Okay. I don't really, I mean, I don't really love the 30s either. I think the 30s are going to be useful for mixed fluid stations because they have multiple ins and outs. But I think, let's see what a 70 looks like. Probably going to regret this too. Oh, that's not bad. I don't hate that, except they only go vertically. Except for the fact that they only go vertically, I don't hate the 70s. Let's use 70s. Why not? And then on my... I'll use 70s for receiving stations, and I will still use, I guess, a farm of 40s for... Oh, well, here I've got these 15s, which are weird. Yeah, this only goes up to 90. But that's still 3 trains worth that it can buffer, right? And that's the thing that you mostly care about is what can you buffer in the system in between runs. You know... And I don't want my receive stations to have buffers that are too big. Otherwise, my trains are going to be running around filling up buffers all the time that don't need to be filled. But I think 70 is fine. That's a little more than 2 trains worth. And then on output buffers, it'll depend. I still need to decide what that's going to be like. So, let's make a solder outpost somewhere. Where are we going to have, like, tin and lead on the network? Who knows? There's some tin there. There's some tin up there. There's some tin down here. Coal, coal, coal. Lead, also kind of here and here. You know what? Let's do this. Grab the trumpet. Well, let's head down here to where I've got this right turn. Instead of a right turn. Ooh. Yeah, this should work. Just gonna have to make some changes. All right. All of those should go through now. Oh, and this one needs to go like that. Yep. And yeah, the bots are trying to build stuff. They're just going to do that. They're going to run out of materials very soon. So if I just grab a straight through here, come on over. I grab something that resembles mostly the station. There. Let's actually align it with... There we go. Have a couple of these guys to align it with. The, There we go. And up here, this is going to be the fun part. Because I want this to request... molten tin and molten lead. Our tank can hold 70, so that's going to be our number. There we go. Now if I grab those tanks that I made, right next to each other, input pipes, and filter molten tin on one, and molten lead on the other. That should be, besides needing to rename this train stop, I really wish there was a way to, like, randomly generate a station name without having to delete and rebuild it. Anyway, so this is now requesting, or will be requesting, and then let's get some power in here. Cool. So this will now request molten tin and molten lead from wherever molten tin and molten lead get built. And then if we just do like this sort of thing... This is still going to need hundreds of rails to actually do its thing, but... And then making solder from molten solder. What does molten solder look like? Molten tin and molten lead and an oxygen furnace. Do I have one of those? No. What do I need? I need refined concrete. Okay. Let me go see how all of that is set up. Make sure that I have refined concrete on the network, which I ought to. And make sure that I can get those buildings being crafted where I need them. Actually, I should be able to just do it up here, right? Just grab one of these and say you need to make gas furnaces. Then you will make the oxygen furnace. Hey, look at that. Okay, yeah, and this says that it has everything. Okay. So these will eventually get themselves some basic oxygen furnaces. I'm going to grab some stuff and make a couple myself. Just so I have them. Maybe. Maybe not. Where's refined concrete? Oh, there we go. How much does this make? This makes 25 molten solder a second. And 5 molten solder a second. Is half a solder a second. Okay, so if I want to make a solder a second, I need 2 oxygen furnaces. Is that right? And the reason I chose this spot, by the way, to be my solder factory is because I can have it both on the rails as a provider to the rail system, but it's also close to my base, and I can belt things where they need to go if necessary. All right, so if I have 2 of these basic oxygen furnaces, making molten solder. They need a fuel. And they do need, let's see, let's get tin out. Tin, and then lead will be, I don't know, something similar. And then we have molten solder coming out of the backs of these. These ones are going to go like this because I will need to feed them fuel somehow. So yeah, each of these makes, 20. Oh, this is the wrong recipe. I want the one that doesn't use tar. Because I don't have tar. I won't have tar on the network immediately, and I do want to start getting petroleum products on the network, but that is not a step 1 thing. That is a step 5 or 6 thing. Okay. So yeah, we make 10 of this a second. And then to make solder in a casting unit, let's make a casting unit. Oh, of course, I don't have the stuff. Let's just blueprint it. Casting unit. And if I have this making solder, we may as well include hot air. Okay, so this will run 12.5 a second. So 2 of these is 10, so we'll fit 1 of these just fine. I use the version without hot air. What does that look like? Still 12.5 a second, but just a little bit less output. Okay. So if we keep this as simple as possible, which is, I mean, it's kind of like that, isn't it? And then we have this belt coming out. And then these can be upgraded to include hot air, or this can be upgraded to include tar as part of the process. I think I can just fit another storage thing here pretty easily. Yep. So yeah, getting this upgraded to produce more from the same inputs is pretty straightforward once it's all kind of ready to go. And then this will be our output, which will need to be a station down here. But I don't have a design for solid stations yet. By solid, I mean stations that are designed for solids instead of liquids. Okay. But yeah, this will be whatever I need to do down here to set up this station with its provider, its chests and whatever, feeding into... And of course I can't do this because these aren't real rails, and working with rail ghosts is always miserable. Okay. This whole thing should be able to power itself off of, like, there. And there and there. Okay. So this could be a solder factory, in theory. It's requesting everything it needs. It just needs solid fuel coming in. Which is going to be tight on this stretch of rail to pull off another station. It is... Okay. Well, that's fine. We just, So one of these will be output, one of these will be kind of input to... Here, let's just grab like that again. I thought these were closer together than that down here. They are. Okay, so I have these at like 2 different positions. Alright, maybe I don't need to be super picky about my positioning of stuff relative to the power poles. I just kind of grab this here, hook it up there. Let's see. Get rid of that signal. In. Definitely get rid of that signal. In, out, out. Don't really need a chain through. This can all be one block. Yeah. And then this will be, again, at a different train station name. And this one will be requesting... Oh. This needs solid fuel, so probably, I guess, fiber will be the thing. And then however much fiber it needs to request, I don't know. I need to figure that out. Haven't figured out that part of the setup yet. And then that solid fuel will just come right into these guys, though, like this. From down here. Whatever we need to do as far as buffering that goes. Alright. So this is basically a solder factory. Do my providers down here have... No, I'm not doing anything with... Okay. There's obviously a lot to do here, and this needs its loop figured out again. So the next things to draw would be the actual molten lead and tin providers, which may or may not be easy to do. I'm gonna have to check what check EFC probably for that to figure out how I want to design and scale those. All right, and what was the other thing I said I needed? Was casting unit? Yeah. And then gas furnaces are going to be in the network soon. What else do you need? Labs, local radars, and I think that's it. All right. A lab just needs transport belts and small parts. I have all of that. And a local radar. I'm not sure. I think we have all of this on the system. It's just going to take it a minute to figure it out. Yeah, small parts and eventually iron plates. We do have them on the system, right? It's just... yeah. Okay. So that's a couple more buildings that will be available to me when I need them. I could probably upgrade a lot of these to fast inserters too, at least the ones next to the blue, the input chests. But it doesn't matter. I should very rarely care about how quickly that can get things done, right? That is the thing. What I wanted to check was down here. How's this caravan doing? Halfway full. Okay. That's, well, it'll be great when it's done. Yep, and that's as far as the rails go. All right. But now at least I should be able to set up my stations a little better. We're going to have a train there. The cargo wagon. With a cargo wagon? Is there a way to do this directly? Here we go. Trees, rocks only. That's what I want. Clear my view. Oh, this is backwards. Yeah, okay. And then cargo wagon. There we go. And then Yeah, there's 6 of them that can go off. And then probably right into a deposit. I mean, this seems like a lot. Storehouse is 4x4. What's a shed? 2x2. I guess it can be a deposit, but I don't have to set it to be like full scale, right? How big is a warehouse? That's a question. Maybe warehouse is the scale that I want here. Yeah, warehouse is 6x6. And then we'd have, you know, whatever our actual output requirements are, and it won't be that much, because it's just a few kilo-whatevers. And then, yeah, we'd request, I don't know... How many slots does a train have? 20? Wait, there's a do everything by stacks, right? All requests are interpreted as a count of items stacks. Yes, there we go. So then our request threshold in terms of stacks is... I don't know, like 15 stacks? And then... you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. What's the stack size for fiber? $100. No. Yes, 100. So we'll say 30 hundreds, so 3,000. With a request threshold of 1,500. There we go. That should do the job. Yeah. I think that will do what I want. Get rid of this train. I'm gonna have to set it up at the depot and actually configure it as a solids train. That does mean that I will need a way of getting... I'll add this on the to-do list. We're gonna... we need molten lead on rails. We need molten tin on rails. We need fiber on rails. All right. Let's add these things to my... And then, actually, yeah, let's just, like, copy this whole... I don't want to copy the whole thing. Kind of do, though. 1 second. Let me figure out how I want to do this. If I do that there... that there. We're going to have 6 of those coming in. We're going to have this here, like so. We're going to have, again, 6 and 6. We're going to have a... There we go. And then there, and there. And then in this case, this is a provider, so we don't need to do anything special. We just hook it right up. And then the input to this is from the output of these, and I'll need to route that around and deal with it, which I'm not going to do right now. Let's get warehouses being built up here. That should be straightforward enough. Yeah, it's all the same stuff that we're requesting in other places. Am I making wooden chests right now? We might just be relying on there being a bunch of them in the network already. I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out eventually. Oh, but there we go. We've got some basic oxygen furnaces. We've got a couple of these things. Cool. Oh, and I should put the tanks that I want to use as part of my standard setups on there too at some point, but I'm still not entirely convinced that I made the right choice with the 70 KL tanks, so we're not going to do that just yet. Yeah, that's nothing. Okay. Lead and tin on rails and fiber on rails. I guess fiber on rails would be one of the easier ones to work on, because that's basically what I've got going on here, right? I just need to be able to sync the biomass, the excess biomass from that goes to here right now, that turns to power in this setup, needs to go somewhere else in another setup. But it's just like basically this part, right? I just have to decide, like, where on my rail network is a reasonable spot to plop this down and say, hey, I've got a fiber factory. I don't really care. It's totally self-contained, so, like, let's do it down there. Nope. Missed, I guess, just the very bottom belt here for Ash in. Oh, and of course they found rails that they need to do. All right, so all of this turns to ash, and what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to deal with the excess biomass as excess ash, because I suspect that that's easier to sink. Could be wrong, but... Oh, actually, I could do biomass straight to CO2 in a high-pressure furnace. So maybe that's what I do, and then I have these as a top-up. Let's check this build in YAFC and see if that'll work. Did I keep my... Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Gonna get rid of a bunch of these parts. Get rid of hot molten salt. Get rid of pressurized water. Get rid of agar. Get rid of seaweed. Get rid of this steam, apparently. Okay. We want to link that. We want to link... Did I lose my fiber to... Yeah, I know you failed to solve, but why are you failing to solve? Oh, I probably got rid of, like, wood to raw fiber? Is that why? There we go. Link the fiber. Biomass to ash. Right. But if I do biomass to CO2, there we go. And then we just make a bunch of fiber. Perfect. So this is what we need. Oh, and that comes so close to not needing the moondrops at all. Huh. I don't think I had realized that. I might make this change to power if I remember to the next time I duplicate that setup. Because, like, we don't get a ton of power from the biomass, but it can do a lot of our CO2 and avoid the need for as many moondrops. Cool. So yeah, we'll just do a top-up valve on the CO2, and we'll use the remaining biomass for CO2 here. So this goes out. This comes in. And a top-up valve. O is less than 90. And then here, we still need this part to loop around here. Come up. Another high-pressure furnace. Extract CO2 from organics. There. Yay! Okay. So I think this will do everything that I need. I just need to get all of my modules. I should really have tree modules just always being built. And I also should have I should put things that are modules. Whoops, I forgot to switch back. Apologies. All I did was hook up this new CO2 production and remove one of the moondrops. What I was saying was I should get all the modules on the Logi network so that I can, like, actually request them and stuff and have them appear where I need them. It's going to be a long time before I have construction bots that are, like, everywhere by default, but it'll at least be nice when I can, you know, set up a shopping list, right? I could come in here and add a section as a shopping list for a specific project, and just drop what I need for buildings in there. And actually, I should do that here. What do we need? We need 9. Well, I'll do the shopping list from YAFC actually. Shopping list. And add a section. Moss 135. And I'm going to call this, what am I making? Fiber on rails. Moss farms, I need 9 of. 20 trees. $16 moondrops. 13 wood processing units. Nine moss farms are already in. 9 high pressure furnaces. Four soil extractors. 3 washers. 3 botanical nurseries. 3 ball mills, 2 forestries. Burner assembly machines and offshore pumps should already be in my defaults. Really? I don't have pumps? Oh, offshore pumps. No, I don't. I should make sure I have offshore pumps in my like default build. I have pumps, but not offshore pumps. Always have a stack of offshore pumps. And then Moondrop Greenhouse, I need 1. Okay. So that's what I need for this section, which I could just like turn off whenever I want, which is great. So now we can head into the base and we can see a bunch of these are not going to be in logistics, and that's expected right now, right? So what we want to do is get them whatever needs to be added to the network somehow. Oh, and I already had 2 of those. Do I have the stuff to just make a couple more? I do. Okay, we'll remove those ones from the requests then. Okay. Done. But yeah, like getting moss into the network so that I have moss modules available would be a really good thing to do. Same with moondrops. Trees I'm not making permanently anywhere. I keep making them on demand when I need them. I should put trees in the network as well. Let's actually do that. The to-do list. Tree modules in Logi network. Alright. I think I'm probably going to call it a little bit early today. I have not been feeling fantastic, but I did still want to make sure that I did a stream of some sort. I'm looking at this. Where does this moss go and what is it used for? This is moss into... Yeah, these guys. Okay. Oh, yeah, and moss would have been screwed up when all my stone was screwed up. Yeah, so moss is still catching up, I guess. But I think we have Logi coverage here, right? If I... Yeah, oh yeah, there's networks right here. Cool. So I can absolutely just, like, drop a... Oop, that's not in Logi range. Well, let's fix that then. Let's get a... Let's get one of these, running a bunch of these. And I think the way that's going to be done is like that, so that we don't... And then same thing over here with moss, is I want to have priorities figured out so that moss goes to where it's needed first before we start buffering it in the logistics system. So it would be something like that, and that. And I don't know, that. And obviously it's going to be a minute before this actually starts buffering here, and that's okay. Worst case, I can just grab a bunch of moss myself if I need it. And I do think I have the stone that I could expand this, but probably by the time I do that, it'll be a dedicated stone to moss setup on rails at this point. Yeah. So that's looking fine. Again, I think this will back up here. And now that I'm in the Logi network... Oh, am I not in the Logi network? I'm in the Logi network. This should tell me what I have available and what I don't. I think some of these things are only available because they're... I have spares that ended up in here, right? Not because they're actually being built. We'll see what we get. Yeah, like botanical nurseries we need more of. Wood processing. Let's just start getting more buildings going on up here. That's... Botanical nursery. I'm already making soil extractors and fluid mining drills down at the main base section, I think. We'll see. And then wood processing units. Logs might be a challenge, but I'm kind of always throwing logs into the system, right? What else do I need that I'm not getting? High pressure furnaces, ball mills. I mean, there's a million and one things, right? This is why I kind of waited until I had Logibots to try to set up a real mall, because it's just infeasible to try to do this without Logibots. Interesting that it doesn't seem to think I have steam engines in the network. Totally have steam engines in the network. I think it just hasn't caught up with that yet. Yeah, there we go. And then same with iron plates. That's always going to be an issue. Stone brick. I definitely have intermetallics. What else do I need to be making? Fastwood forestries, moondrop greenhouses. Probably washers and moss farms as well. Fastwood forestry, looks like nothing special. Moondrop greenhouse is hopefully nothing special. Nah. Moss farm, I also think is nothing. Oh, soil. I might have to get soil into the network for moss farms to build. I've probably dumped a bunch of it into storage, so we'll see if it figures that out. What else? I got enough washers, but they're not being built, so I should also add them. Washer. All right. Well, that's going to be a lot of work for the Logibots, obviously. You know, they're doing their best. Here, I'll help. We're putting pipes, right? I put everything that was like being output down here onto the Logi network, right? So we got pumps, we've got, yeah. Oh, offshore pumps. I added them to my requests, but not to the build list. And again, I don't think there's anything special about those as far as their needs. Yeah, alright. That's, I mean, obviously we have... It's going to take a while for all of this to build up and back up with the logic bots being as slow as they are, but over time, all of this will be ready. And then, I guess I should finish the... I could finish the train station down here before I call it. Probably should. And that would be taking the... Oh, I don't even have visibility down there. So yeah, let's get a couple radars down there and then get the train station copied and pasted in place from one of my other ones. Specifically, it'll be like this one, right? Because that's a provider. Yeah, that's a provider. So the actual output is like here. So if we go ahead and put this thing like, I don't know, here. Make sure that all of our signals look right. Sure, sure, sure. And then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow inserters input. There we go. Okay, that is pretty much that. I mean, I need all the buildings still for all of this to be able to construct it. But I think that... Oh, and I gotta delete and rebuild this so that it gets a new name, otherwise my trains might get routed wrong. That is important. I actually don't know if Cybersyn handles multiple stations with the same name, but either way it's more fun if they have unique names. So that's... We're doing that anyway. I also love that if I zoom out to just the right size, these look like they're the same station with a very, very long, silly name. Alright, let's get our two new radars in place down here. Do I have enough power to connect them? Probably not, because I always forget that when I do these. Although, actually, I have a lot of long power poles now, so maybe I do have what I need to connect them. Well, that was obviously too far. Where was the other thing? I walked right past it. Even with... Ah, there we go. There we go. I think most of those are connected, so those should now be turned on. Yeah. Well, one of them is. Let's fix the other one. Did the bots just miss a couple of power poles? Probably. There we go. Okay. So I'm halfway through Fiber on Rails. I'm going to put that at the top, so hopefully I remember that's what I'm halfway through. Good luck with that. And then I can do... I still got to figure out my molten sources for lead and tin. I have to decide if I want to do ore mining separately and like build processing plants for the raw ores. I think I kind of want to do that, because then all of these like extra whatevers that you end up with, not here, a little further up, here, right? Like when we're doing ash processing or anything else, we end up with all these ores. These will eventually just become like high priority sources for those ores, so that when we have a train load of ore, the system will automatically do what it needs to do. Yeah. And I think that is gonna be it for today. Like I said, I'm not feeling fantastic today, but like good progress feels like it's been made. We've got, I mean, some fixes in. We've got science not quite running at 8 because we still don't have enough of this. It's got to still be saline is the bottleneck. But I'm calling it good progress, and I am calling it this a reasonable place to wrap up. So thanks to everyone who has tuned in, and thanks to everyone who watches these on YouTube. You really are all appreciated. If you watch on YouTube and want to watch live, the link to my Twitch with my full schedule is down below. And I would also appreciate if you watch on YouTube if you want to do any of the things to feed the algorithm. Engagement is one of the bigger things to help the robot overlords to send more people to my videos. So it really does help. I know you hear it on everyone's video, but the care and feeding of the algorithm is how we all. I lost track of this train of thought. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, thanks again, everyone. And next time, I mean, we've got a list of things to get on Rails, so we're gonna keep making these little outposts, and hopefully it'll be by the time we get a few more of these done, hopefully we'll have enough rails backed up here that we can finally finish building out the backbone. I think I should be able to do most of my outposts along what I've got, so it won't need huge amounts of rails, right, to add like a lead smeltery and a tin smeltery and, you know, an outpost for grabbing lead ore, etc., etc. So it's really just this like these initial backbone stretches that are taking huge amounts of resources. Yep. All right. Thanks once again, everybody. And the next Pi stream is Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel.